Hello, my name is Martin Harman. I'm a British artist based in Bristol, UK. I make ceramic sculpture inspired by the historic English heritage monument Stonehenge, based in Salisbury, England, UK. As a lot of my sculpture deals with concepts of investigating the English heritage monument Stonehenge, I try to make pieces that creates a kind of mystery and creates a kind of questioning. So when you look at the pieces, you're forced to look within yourself and find the meaning. I think this is very important because when I started investigating Stonehenge, I didn't want to make work that looked like Stonehenge. I was more interested in the ideas I got from looking at Stonehenge, because it's one of the very few places that really it forces you to look at the place with new eyes, so to speak. You know, you kind of have to look at yourself and you're asking yourself questions about who built it, why they built it, what is it used for, what is its function. But of course, till this day, no one really knows its purpose, its true meaning. And I find this really fascinating because in today's society, for example, when you look at buildings or architecture, everything has a purpose, a structure, a meaning. But with Stonehenge, this does the complete opposite. So these are the kind of things that I'm trying to capture. I'm trying to make work that's about imagination. It's about giving the viewer imagination to look at the work and create their own stories. And so I want them to be very curious. And I think this is very important. There are some other inspirations that feed into the work that relate to Stonehenge, things like architecture and organic forms. At the end of the day, the work is very much about curiosity and imagination. It's about inviting the viewer to create their own meaning from what they're seeing, and not for the pieces to be very dictative and representational. I want them to be very abstract and very open to interpretation, and this is very important. And again, this all relates back to Stonehenge, as when I'm looking at Stonehenge, this is exactly what I'm taking away from it. I'm taking away the ability to look at it with curiosity and to ask questions, and this is very central for the work. Yeah, so the sculptures are made using individual parts, some of which have been thrown on a potter's wheel, like these. So I'll throw things like spheres, and then they're combined with other elements which are hand built. So these are all slab built, slab components. So I like to play with these components and join them up together. So they're very much based on a construction. Yeah, because this is my trusty knife that I use to cut up my pieces, these cylinders, to join them together, and it's come all the way from Taiwan. all made from stoneware, and I usually high fire to about say 1200 to 1280, and I like to see if I can play around with different contrasts of colour. So I'll probably then spray these forms. These haven't been bisfied yet, so they're completely just raw clay. So I'd probably let these forms just dry out, and then bisfire, and then spray them with slips, and probably put some kind of pattern on there, and create contrast within the colour. So slips and glaze. But the process itself is always inspired by obviously my central ideas, to do with Stonehenge, but I also do a lot of drawings like these, and this kind of feeds into the work as well. So I kind of try and focus on geometric or organic shapes, or combining both of these elements, like I've tried to do here. These are works in progress. So yeah, the drawings itself very much feeds into the kind of work, and so that's really important. But the drawings will never look like the work. They're just kind of ideas. So I'll take certain features and then perhaps look at embedding those ideas within the sculptures. Like this one's a bit more, similar. It's just components, like cylinders that would be joined together, and then using colour to draw the eye to the outside space. And that's another strong, another feature of the work, is using colour to really break up the space and the form. Yeah, so at the end of the day, I just like these sculptures to give people the opportunity to question what they're seeing. I hope there's space within the work for it to carry on its own story. Perhaps it's not a finished work in itself, perhaps they continue to evolve, and they do in a way, because I then look at these pieces and I find new ways of taking a piece like this and then creating a new one from it. So it's an evolving journey. Some people in the past have seen the sculptures and say they look a bit like clouds. Like this one looks a bit like a cloud because of the form and the shape and the way it kind of pulls your eye into the space. And then some people they say they look like mountains, and so it's different for everyone, I think. And I think, if anything, that is the most important aspect, is that people just take away their own meaning from the work and create their own meaning.